So we finally have the Collider interview of SS Rajamouli for Varanasi, and I'm really looking forward to this one. I thought they will like delay it, and after a few months each interview will drop. There's one more out the wrap. Maybe we'll watch it in this video itself. Hopefully, there's no repetition of the same things being asked. But if you don't know, Collider is one of the biggest, like a media house, like a media place where they do a lot of interviews with big stars from Hollywood. So them doing it's a big deal, and it's gonna definitely help in the promotions, and they've already started it. That's a really cool thing. Now I've reacted to the other interviews out there. If you haven't seen, you can check it on the channel. Again, this is a reaction or a substitute. If you haven't seen the original, I'll put the link description. Check it out there. In the video, I'll be pausing, talking, sharing my thoughts. So without any delay, let's go.
How are you doing today, sir?
Doing great. Thank you, Steve.
Listen, I'm thrilled to be here in India, getting to talk to you. Thus far, it's been fantastic. I have a lot of questions about the movie, but I like throwing a few fun questions at the beginning of all my interviews. And I will be asking this question of the cast, which is, what is your favorite Indian food and what is in it?
It's called Papucharu and Annam. So it's basically a liquid form of lentils and rice.
Okay.
That's
Appam I know. Appam I understand.
Food, and I love it.
Is this something that you cook yourself, or?
I never cook. I hate cooking. I only like eating.
We're very similar. I'm wearing an Arnold Schwarzenegger t-shirt.
Yeah.
I know you're a movie fan. Do you have a favorite Arnold movie?
Who doesn't? A T2.
Okay.
Terminator 2, and surprisingly, I like.
Okay, confession time. I haven't seen T2 or T1 or any T. I've not seen Terminator films. Sorry. Never got a chance, and I don't know. I've seen footages of visuals of it and scenes from the film. It's not. I don't know anything about it. There's some time travel and the robot comes to kill us. Some I know all that stuff, but I haven't fully sat down and watched the film. So sorry, but hopefully I'll do it someday.
Not surprisingly, I like truly.
And I've not even seen the Rocky films. I've not even seen the Rambo films. I've not even seen the other franchise of these actors.
Is a lot, a completely different kind of film from him. I love True Lies.
Sure.
Sorry.
What's funny is both are James Cameron.
Yeah.
I'm assuming James Cameron must have seen RRR.
Yes.
What was that like? I'm assuming he told you. Did he?
Yes.
Spoke to him.
Yes.
I know that you got to meet a lot of Hollywood filmmakers on the when you were promoting.
Yeah.
What was it like as such a?
I think if he had done his research, he would find the video where James Cameron is literally talking to him about RRR. I've seen that multiple times over, multiple months and years. Like recently, it popped up again, and I watched it again fully.
Fan of James Cameron and Spielberg and all these people.
Yeah.
What has it been like to be embraced by Hollywood and having these filmmakers that you look up to, talk so highly of you?
It was unreal for me. First of all, meeting himself is unreal for him. Meeting him is unreal. And then he talking about my film is like something else. And then he talking about the details of the film, the characters of the film, the moments of the film, and how he and his wife watched the film, and he recommended my movie to his wife. And both of them are watching the film again. He watched it the second time. All that was like, is this true? I was pinching myself to believe it. It was one of the most happiest moments in my career.
So
that has to be like just hypothetically, if I make a film, and Rajamouli watches it, and then he tells me, oh, I did that thing you did. I'm like, oh my God, I need to sleep, wake up, it's a dream.
Curious, after RRR, you obviously, you've been able to do what you want to do for the last few movies, but how did you feel any additional pressure or indecision about what you wanted to do after RRR, knowing that like the whole world is now, so many people around the world are very interested in what you're going to do?
No, the success of RRR definitely has no pressure on me. My pressure is that at the beginning of the film, we always have 2 or 3 ideas which are interesting. So if I start focusing on one idea, I feel that am I missing out on those two? If I go for the other idea, then I'll feel that am I missing on this? So that's the pressure I go through in the beginning of the film. The success of the previous film, whether it's RRR or Bahubali or any other film, it never affected me.
So how did you decide on this film being, yes, this is what I want to make?
It is very difficult to pinpointedly say, yes, this is the time or this is the moment in story development that I felt like this is the one. It's a kind of process that goes back and forth. And also it took a long time because at the same time I was also in LA promoting RRR. So I was doing that job there, coming back to India, dabbling a little bit with the story discussions and again going back. And I don't know exactly at which point I thought, yes, this is the film. But I remember this definitely is one of the moment when we had the emotional sequence leading up to the moment where Rudra, the character played by Mahesh, comes on the bull with the trishul and the dust flying around. We thought this will be one of the.
And look at him, like the way he's building that scene up. Like, again, right? It's not. Listen to him. He's saying that there's an emotional build up to the epic moment, which is the highlight of the glimpse we saw. And it's not just a cool intro sequence for the hero. No. It's a result of the story build up, emotions, and the final, look of what the hero will do. It's the action, it's not the visual representation.
The cinematic moments, we have to do this.
So I know this is very early. You're in the middle of filming right now. The film's not out for a long time. And I hate asking a generic question, but what do you want to tell people about the movie and what it's about?
It's about the experience. It's the experience that will transport you through unimaginably big, gigantic worlds, not in terms of scale, not just in terms of scale, but in terms of emotions as well.
So one of the things that I love about your work
That was very decoded and didn't give away much.
is the way that you use slow motion in your action set pieces to help tell the story.
Yeah.
Can you talk about how do you figure out which shots do you want to do in slow motion? And are you figuring it out on set or are you figuring it out in the editing room after, or is it a combination of both?
Much before than shooting or editing, on the writing table itself.
It's emphasis, right? Like whenever you do slow motion, you want to emphasize the moment. You want to stretch it, that emotion you want to feel at that moment, the heroicness or the sadness, whatever emotion is. If you just happens and you move to the next scene, you're not giving it time to stay. So I think to drag that, like the whole triple R interval movement, right? When he jumps off, if he just jumps off and the animals run away, and you're not able to even absorb what the hell did you want. Oh my god, moment. If it just goes fast and you just even able to take it and you just have to follow the action. But because it's in super slow motion, you slowly see the tigers, then you cut to reaction shots of different characters, then you come back to it, then you get a close-up of Junior NTR, then you go to the reaction shots, and then they land on the, it's like almost like 10-15 seconds long. That time, just like the reaction shots, you are also like, oh my god, you're registering in your mind, you're taking all the high of that scene in you, and then you follow on with the action and whatever follows on. So I think that's why emphasize this moment. It should not be just, oh, hero is walking, oh, now slow motion, which I think KGF gets a lot of flack for wherever hero comes in. But I think what KGF does well is that they give, whenever he's walking slow motion, they actually give him something cool to do. That's why the slow motion is happening. It's not just slow motion for no sake.
Figuring out which shots going to like really slow motion. Those moments are the peak moments of emotion. So I can't decide that on the set. It has to be much before.
So one of the things that I'm very excited about, I love IMAX. It is my favorite format.
Yeah.
And you are going to be releasing this in IMAX and you're filming it for IMAX.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the decision as to why because like the James Cameron filmed like Oppenheimer all in IMAX and the full screen.
What? James Cameron, Oppenheimer, dude. You are very, very, taken aback by Rajamouli, and he's very nervous.
Are you doing that, or are you doing select scenes in full screen IMAX?
Select screens. I would like to do the entire film in full IMAX, but our what do you say, timelines and the way we work, we are not studio backed.
Sure.
We are like the production company based, so that would be impossible for us to do the entire film in IMAX.
Okay.
Being said,
So it's like how in Christopher Nolan films sometimes expectation changes when big movements, and then it comes back when they're just people talking and all, because you don't want to shoot extra movement, extra footage, extra processing. It'll cost a lot way nothing, it's not needed. And whenever there's a big action spectacle happening, it'll become big.
that I also love the moments where a normal scene opens into that gigantic world.
The transition.
I really love that feel. When we were having the conversations with the IMAX technicians and IMAX people in LA, they were saying like you can cross cut between the platforms and between the aspect ratios, and people will not notice it. You can hide those cuts. They were suggesting different ways of how to hide the cuts. I said, why would I want to hide it? I want to blatantly tell the people, show the people that you're good.
I think, and that's the big difference between India and Hollywood, right? Like you would want to showcase that, right? Like how we want to show our emotions. You want to show our, true self and, portray it in the big lavish way, everything we feel. And that's what he's meaning, right? I have to show when the change. Like I think which film was recently? Mission Impossible. The whole submarine scene. It's in a different aspect ratio, and you don't even realize the moment water rising the waves, like, and suddenly it's in the big aspect ratio, and it's done really well. But you don't even know when it happens. And I think the thing they were suggesting him that what you can do is have a scene where on top and the bottom of the screen it's black, so you can increase it and no one will notice. And the next scene when it happens, it will be like full screen, and people will not realize. So that's one cheat trick you can use, and I'm sure there are more.
Witness something extraordinary as I open the screen to the larger screen. It gives me an elation. Why should I hide it? I would rather flaunt it rather than hide it. When we played this teaser for the audience on the event, you must have noticed when I opened the Varanasi from the CinemaScope to the full IMAX, there was a roar. So I want to use it, capture it, not hide it.
Oh yes, when it starts going like this, I'm like, okay, it's on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I am curious though, with the trailer or the teaser trailer, I'm not sure what it's called.
Yeah.
With the footage that you showed, can you talk about why you picked the scenes that you showed for the trailer over other scenes?
See, when it is in last October, I guess, when my artist started putting the pencil on the paper and started drawing the images. We know the story, and I told him like what I wanted the audience,
like some of the core movements or the core kind of visions of what to expect, I guess.
Experience it. I don't want words. I want visuals, and people should get a sense of what this film is going to be, what scale, what scope this is going to be. So there are no words. There are no words. I just want visuals. And he started doing the job, and
that's how he thinks, right? He always thinks in visuals. He always thinks in how visually I can sit. I think that's the most important skill he has as a director, and that's why he's so universal. Where you don't need words, you don't need, language to explain what's going on. The visuals are enough to make you understand, and he has a very good visual language and visual design that they're easy to understand, interpret. It's not very hard to get.
We picked some. The picking of those visuals is merely based on, am I feeling it or not? I didn't want words to describe it. Am I feeling it not? Yes, I'm feeling here. Yes, I'm feeling here. Yes, go through it. Go through it. That's how we made the basic, simple, black and white pencil line drawing of what this teaser is going to be. And from last October till now, no, we started developing it. Studios worked on it day and night until the last moment where we're releasing. The studios were liking, some of the artists were working 24 hours, like literally 24 hours, no sleep, no sleep, continuously working to deliver this.
That is something not be appreciated in US and Western countries. Here, I think we take it as a pride. Oh, we worked so hard, and here also, like sometimes, like I hope they are paid for that extra work, and that's not a life to live. Like to work 24/7. No one should be not 24/7, 24 hours with no sleep and no breaks, and that's not good for anyone. And the thing is that they are paid employees. Most of them, they are not part of the film, and that they'll earn more money if the film does well. So they are just getting paid money for the certain amount of time they have to work, but they are doing over, and that's not a good thing, and that's been a big issue in US also, Hollywood also, and Marvel has faced a lot of flack for it, and now union is coming and things are changing. So there's something in India we don't even care about. I think still there's so much there's ignorance, or there's not even thinking that that's not a right thing. That's something to flaunt about. This is wrong, that someone has to work so hard, so much more, and you have to compensate that, and you have to give them break. It's not healthy at all to work that long. But the other thing is also that I, for my own short film, when I was making it in college, I did 24 hours. I was sleeping in college, just 4 5 hours, and continuing working day night every day, like for few months. So that's it again, but it was my film, right? I was not getting paid for someone else's work. So yeah, it's something I think West, at least right now, it will not appreciate.
I'm waiting for this thing to pop up behind us, but I'm curious, what can you say about the antagonist of the film and this wheelchair with the Dr. Octopus type arms?
Definitely not sci-fi. It's not sci-fi. So it feels like it's a sci-fi film. It's not. It's more fantasy, mythological based film. And antagonist Kumba is. I'm always known for presenting my antagonists better than my protagonists. So I love working with antagonists, and I just love his.
That I don't know. He's better at them, but no. I think he delivers on the hero more. Like the most epic scenes out of the hero. Even in a film like Makki, the most iconic shot is of the Makki and not of Kicha Sudhi. Whereas Kicha Sudhi is the soul of the film, but still like the most memorable moments, some best scenes are of the hero.
Character, his intensity, and Prithviraj, the way he brought that out with his performance is like really incredible. He just had his face, nothing else. No arms, no legs, no body movement, nothing. All he had to, his menace, he had to bring through his face, and he did it with great aplomb.
So one of the things I'm curious about the runtime of the movie. What I love long movies, especially when they're deserving of a long runtime. Yeah. RRR is a little over 3 hours, but you've made previous films that are like 3.5 hours. Mm-hmm. Are you already thinking that this could be 3 hours, 3.5 hours?
Usually I aim my films based on the script that we have. Usually my stories feel like they will be 2 hours, 40 minutes to 3 hours kind of thing. That is how most of the time, or most of my recent movies have been like that. I think Varanasi will be also on that lines. I'm at this point, I'm assuming it will be a little bit less than 3 hours.
Is there any...
Whoa, that's a big thing. Less than 3 hours? No, I want 3 hours. And now with Dhurandhar, 3.5 hour film also like going crazy. Like I think even Animal 3 hours, like I think if you tell a good story, all these things no one cares. If you can tell a good story, if you can keep engaged, like it's a TikTok generation, they'll not even watch a 2 hour film, and it's all nonsense. If you can make a good film, if you can make an engaging film, everyone will watch it.
One of the things is in America, a lot of people aren't as crazy about a 3 hour movie. They like a 2 hour movie. I personally, again, if the movie warrants it, it could be any length.
Yes.
But do you get the pressure to make it shorter, or is it sort of like you get the creative freedom to do whatever's best for the story?
It is always whatever is the best for the story. I seriously believe if the content is not interesting, whether it is 3 hours, 2 hours, 1.5 hours, or even 3 minutes, people wouldn't care for it. They just get bored and they just switch it off or just walk out of the theater. They're not interested. If you are able to pull the audiences into the world, into the emotions of the characters, if they resonate with the emotions of the characters, I don't think runtime it doesn't matter.
I'm very curious. One of the things that one of the things about RRR in America.
Is it either he's too tired, jet lagged, or he's too nervous? I never seen him like this.
Music and the songs. Yeah. It exploded, not just America, it exploded around the world. Yeah. So can you talk a little bit about the music and the songs of your new film?
Yeah, each film is different, Steve. It's a big trap that many filmmakers tend to fall into, trying to see what are the elements in the previous film or the successful film, and how do we...
Good. Love to hear this.
Because the audiences will be expecting it, how do we recreate that? Each film is different. Each film has different unique points, different emotions, different highs. I feel we should concentrate on how to make that higher or bigger or more paying element, rather than trying to recreate from the previous success. Of course, we feel great about Natu and how it performed worldwide. I look into Varanasi as like, how can I get that kind of high moments, but I don't try to recreate that music into Varanasi. Varanasi will have music which will be great, will have songs which are great, but they won't be anything like Nat.
One of the things that I'm so curious about is, I have so many other questions, is which shot or sequence of this film do you think, or thus far, has been the most challenging to pull off? Or is it still in front of you?
Yeah, the sequence that I'm shooting now, in the middle of the shoot, I think that is one of the technically challenging moment. It works. We had to combine many known technologies to achieve what we need to achieve. And the sequence I know which will be really difficult, really tough to pull off, is a sequence that we have already shot, is the Ramayana episode. So we have completed the shoot, and we know the VFX for that is going to be a really, really tough job for all of us.
So it's right now November 2025. Mm-hmm. When do you actually finish filming? Like, what's still in front of you?
We have completed about 50% of the shoot. Another 50% is balance.
It is said that the film will have 30% of the Ramayana portions, and still I'm like, how do you pull that off? How do you even approach that? Like, how do you even imagine that you're gonna you're not telling a Ramayana story. You are going in that era where Ramayana is taking place, and there you're adding your own story. Like, that is the things of dreams. That's not even imagination. Dreams, you wake up and you forget them. Like, I actually had an idea like this of characters who are jumping through time, and it's not that they are it's like most what happens is you see characters, going back in time, and they are influencing that time, and actually what happened is because of them. Whereas my idea was that they are jumping through time, but the time is affecting them. Like, what are they experiencing? The different eras, not any big thing, not Ramayana at all. There's a British era or before that, or the King's era. Like, they are traveling, and they are discovering themselves and finding things about themselves, and it's about their own journey instead of of the place or the history, the place they're going for. So there's an interesting narrative I had thought of that remind me of this. But yeah, it's again, that's just a thought. This guy is pulling it off. He has already shot it.
Yeah, thinking we can finish our shoot by next June something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just about out of time. Okay, hold on. I'm just looking real fast. Hold on. Oh, I wanted. This is my last question because I'm out of time. But one of the things that I learned from Priyanka was she was telling me that you will shoot the rehearsals and everyone in street clothing, whatever they're wearing, and then you'll edit that and show it to them with their just normal clothes, and then that's what you will actually shoot. Can you sort of talk about your process? And because that's unusual. That's not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean. because we work with actors from different industries, and I'm working with technologies which are not regularly used in filmmaking, it is very important for the cast and crew to understand, even for me to understand, the process of how we are going through the filming it, going through filming it. So I figured out the best way to do is do a test shoot. So get the actors, give them the lines, get my DOP.
And I think that's why it takes so long to shoot, because you are actually shooting one sequence first in workshops and preparing everything, pre-production, then doing these test shoots, then editing it, and it all takes time. You're taking the actor's time. Like, it's not just actor comes on set and they shoot the sequence and they go. You're taking all the time of, you have to stay for the workshops, you have to stay for this test shoot, I'll show everything, and then you have to, perform it also.
The people who are involved in it, the production designer, whoever are involved in it, and put the cameras and let the actors do their acting. It's like a little bit extension of the actors doing the reading the scripts. Sure. No, they do in West they do the reading, right? So I'm taking it a little bit forward. I'm doing the test shooting as they are reading the lines, making them act, and asking like, how would you like to do it? Would you like to walk as you're saying that? Would you like to sit? Would you lean onto something? Would you want something in your hand to explore? So that gives us a lot of freedom, and I see them as they're going through their lines and motions. I'll be able to see, my DOP will be able to see in which pose or which movement or which still movement they are more comfortable with delivering their emotions. So we'll be having multiple cameras and we'll be capturing all that, and we do the edit on that and see how it is flowing through. And that will be our basis of shooting the actual shoot.
Sir, I really cannot wait to see when this all comes together. I really can't wait. Thank you so much for your time, and good luck with the rest of your production.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you very much for coming here.
Thank you for
I have to say that it's a long interview even for them. Like, for Hollywood, they just get 5 minutes time, but I guess this is pre even the release. Like, this is special, so I guess each interviewer got extra time to to interact with them, and based on the timing they got. And I think they also, like, the bigger houses, production people, they get media personalities, they get more time. But I don't think they are used to getting 15 minutes, because most of the interviews you see, they are maximum it'll go to 8-10 minutes, even if they are playing games, if they're playing different games and all. But most of, if you see Hollywood stuff, the interviews are barely, if it's a big cast interview where they're all the cast and crews are together, big, there are multiple people, maybe it's longer. But most of them, they keep it very short. Or if there are special interviews, like long interviews with everyone there, then they do the long ones. Otherwise, very, very small. So good to hear that. But also, let's check out the other one with the rap. So it's a 5-minute one, short one. So let's just integrate part of this only. Again, if you haven't seen, I'll put the link and check it out there.
Talk a little bit about the scope of this, because it wasn't just filming here in India, you were filming in Africa, you were filming in other places, and it was really physically demanding. What were some of the really big challenges that were unique to Varanasi that maybe didn't have to deal with Bahubali or RRR?
I think it is a episode of Ramayana. Most of my films are inspirations from the epics of Mahabharata and Ramayana, the Indian epics. In this film, I had a chance to literally shoot one episode from Ramayana.
Listening to that, like, he's kind of, I think he also wanted to do it because that kind of gives him more understanding of, if he, like, his dream project of, making Mahabharata. And I think it has to be like how Avatar is. Like, there's no way you can get actors and, tell the whole like Mahabharata, with those actors. You have to get them in motion capture, so even something goes wrong, if you need some other actor, like, they can be replaceable. If you cast them as live action film, that's not gonna end well. So considering that, is either go full animation, like full Mahabharata 10 film long franchise. That's like, if you want to explore all of it. If you want to cut down, maybe you can make it 3-4 films minimum, but one film is not gonna do justice, and I don't think he would want to do one film. So I think the only way that makes sense for him to make it without having the limitation of getting big actors is going motion capture, and how Avatar is made. but then that requires the next level of budgets, and which he's going up to that, but that is something else altogether. So yeah, it's let's see.
And that episode in the film is a combination of multiple sub episodes. So this entire thing put together is about 25 minutes in the film, runtime in the film. So shooting
25,
that
okay.
sub episodes, each one was like making a film on its own. The emotions that we had to go through, that the audience, the characters had to go through that sequence are different from one episode to one episode, sub episode to sub episode. The creative challenges were different, the technical challenges were different. So for everything, it was like approaching a completely new film, each sub episode. That was really challenging. We had to put all our brains together, all our efforts together to shoot that sequence. We shot it for 60 days, and one of the most satisfying sequences for me.
So with that in mind, when you have IMAX, this is going to be the first Indian film shot for IMAX screen.
I feel like they all got like notes, maybe like ask around these things. Like ask in every interview till now has talked about, even the actors interview has talked about IMAX, right? So it's like they want to highlight these moments. Oh, it's an IMAX film, and that's a good. They want to publicize it. Like, oh, you're getting an IMAX film now. You have to check it out in IMAX. They're making a point of it.
As you said, so many different demands that every scene, every element calls for. When you're composing your shots and when you're trying to visualize these grand epic scale, what does having that IMAX format, that screen ratio, allow you to do that you couldn't do with your previous work?
It is mainly when it comes to the scale. You have seen some of the shots that we released in the glimpse. Let it be the Antarctica, icebergs in Antarctica, or the Vanara pyramids pyramid in the Ramayana episode, or the giants. It is very difficult to get the scale and scope in CinemaScope in
because what happens is you have this much footage, right? If forget all of this, you have a tall person, and if you have a shorter person, like I'm 6 foot, right, and most people are shorter to me. So if you say there's someone 5'3", 5'4", if we are standing to frame it, I have to go really back to put them us together. But if I'm a little closer, their body will be cut off, my body lower down will be cut off, only my head and this much will be visible, their only head will, and if you go down, my full upper body will go missing. So, it's very hard to compose. But if I, increase the aspect ratio, then both of them come together. If it has one, what do you call it? Like what I say? Like at a length. If at one length, if I don't want to go too far, it'll be too wide of a shot. I don't want wide shot, I want close shot. So in that sense, if I increase the aspect ratio, suddenly I can frame both characters in one. So in that sense, in the film where you have, so much happening, you have giants, you have Varanasi and everything, it makes sense. Okay, I cannot frame them, and if you just try to fix them together in one to fit it in that, then you lose the scale, you lose how giant someone is and how other person, how small they are. So that thing falls off. So you want to have that additional aspect ratio to show that
0.39 in 1.9 or 1.85, 1:1.9 or 1:1.85, you can get it to a certain extent, but to do the actual full justice is to get the IMAX. So there were a lot of challenges, like how do you balance between, because most of my audience are in CinemaScope. They watch most of the film screens are CinemaScope. So it was quite a challenge whether you shoot for IMAX and frame for CinemaScope, or do you shoot for CinemaScope and frame for IMAX? So how do you do that? That's quite a challenge, and my DOP had a lot of meetings with technical people at IMAX and creative discussions with me, and we came out with a formula that works for my film. Right?
I'm guessing Senthil is only like the DOP for this.
When do you prefer or like prioritize which format? Of course, the whole film will be available in CinemaScope and 1:1.9, and major portions of the film will be available in 1:1.4. So how do you prioritize the framing was a big challenge, and we were able to find a formula for my film.
Yeah, because I've seen in other films in the U.S. where there are directors like Ryan Coogler who they shoot in like a 70 millimeter format, but then for their biggest, most breathtaking moments, the scene will just suddenly expand.
Yes.
There is that moment when the scene expands, even if the audience doesn't immediately register that they're suddenly seeing the full screen, it's subconsciously.
Look at that scene. Like if you just cut it right now, the tail will go away, the people on the ground will go away, and it'll just be like that much. You're not able to grasp all of it, the greatness of the
Just
epicness of the scene.
takes people's breath away.
Yeah.
Is that something that you were shooting for, like that moment when the screen expands? Like, is that something that
I love that. Sorry for interrupting. I love that. So when we were having the discussions at IMAX in LA, so they were saying like when you're shifting between formats and
Okay, same thing.
there was a discussion whether
before.
people will notice it, whether people will feel disconnected because of the change of formats, and they were telling like, no, we have done it before, they won't know it, you can seamlessly blend between the shots. We're saying, and said, why should we make it unnoticeable? Let's make it noticeable. Let's put a point, like, expand the shot and then tell them that you're going to don't hide it. In fact, like, be blatant about it. That's what my intention was, like. So that builds up the anticipation of something big is going to come. It is like building your anticipation for the big moment.
Like building up to the mass.
I said, let's be blatant about it. And my theory proved right when we showed the glimpse at the event. We started off Varanasi in Moscow, and then when we started opening it, there was a roar in the audience. That expectation rose in them. So that, I think we will use that technique.
That was a short one and good. Similar things, kind of. Again, I think they were giving similar points, and I guess in the US, I've noticed this. Especially people who lives in LA and the media people, like they are very obsessed about IMAX. I've noticed that a lot. They're like everything. Oh, this ratio, this, and then that theater is not the perfect IMAX. Like there's a lot of things which I think in India it's not even luxury. It's a privilege to even have IMAX. So whatever IMAX, just be happy. So I think in India, even we don't have 1.4 to really experience what Rajamouli wants to give us. But hopefully by the time the film comes out, there is one, which I find very hard because it takes a lot of time to build one. I think in Hyderabad it's happening. They're going to take a year and a half. So maybe at least one will be there. So hopefully I'll be traveling, to get to that. But this was a lot of fun, a lot of interesting details. We found about the Ramayana scenes they have shot already. And I think they will be like when we reach the Ramayana area, like the expectation will grow taller and it'll be epic. Yeah, I'm very excited. I think the interviews have made me really excited about the film and really looking forward to it. I just saw that the Dolby has put out the Varanasi teaser glimpse, and I actually want to check it out. So thank you for watching.